Thank you. Thank you for joining us for the premiere of our short film show on public television. You could be doing literally anything else right now, but you chose here to be with us. And for those of you who are actually paying attention at home, thank you, and please get some help. I'm your host, Cori Schneider. Each week we'll be viewing short films from filmmakers across the globe, spanning all genres through comedies that make us laugh, horror that make us scream, and dramas that make us cry. We'll examine the things behind the films, from the minute details hiding in plain sight, to the editing and color correction, hiding the film's faults in plain sight. This is a show that celebrates film and the artists who make it. Our first film explores the idea of mortality, soulmates, and painting by numbers. It was awarded an IndieFest Award for Excellence in Filmmaking. Written and directed by Amy Neswald, here's Wilderness.
First lives can differ greatly, depending on the lessons you choose to learn, so choose carefully, pay attention, and make a mental note. 1, be born. That's simple enough. As soon as it starts, it's almost over. I don't know why everyone's always crying over that one. 2, remember how to walk. And of course, we mean walk in the loosest definition of the word. 3, release hormones. Oh, I'm so sorry you have to go through that one. 4, support your physical body through eating, commerce, and keeping warm. Discover your sense of mortality. This should happen at age 40 or so. And step 6, live until you die. Questions? Often in our first lives, we may feel lost, abandoned, confused, stuck. When in doubt, Lamile. Look, listen, meditate, and learn.
Hey, give it back!
Wayne Johnson. How many first lives do you plan to go through? If I see you back here again, I'm sending you to remedial. You can spend the next 1,000 years being a rock.
Robert Kenny, come on up here, son. It's time.
You are going to be 6'2" and live in a room in New York City. You're going to be a painter.
I don't want to go. I want Amber.
We'll be with you. Can you ask Sheila to grab my button for me?
Sure.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I've left something behind.
It's no good being stuck on before.
Something really good. Lost.
Look at what you made.
Or maybe I've been left behind. I've always wondered, since I was young.
Robert, you're so cute. Mrs. Maruti told me it's time to leave. Maybe I'll see you my second time around.
Why does he do that? What does he see?
I had a lot of imaginary friends growing up. They'd come, they'd go, never stayed long.
I finished this life early too. This is Mrs. Williams. You could tell who they are. They're always dressed in white. Are you leaving?
You're the boy who brought the button.
Bye.
Even in high school, it felt like there was a whole world out there with its door slightly ajar. But I never went through.
You'll catch the death of a cold.
I know, Mommy. I'm supposed to.
Must be nice on the other side.
Some say antiseptic, but that's okay if you like that sort of thing.
Yeah, Wayne. No. I was gonna buy her breakfast. I turned 40 today.
Happy birthday.
And I don't think I'm any closer to solving life's mysteries.
There are no mysteries. You're born, you suffer, you die. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll feel a little guilt.
I don't think therapy's helping me.
He's the button boy. He didn't need me till now.
You're lucky. I've been with this one since she was 6.
I see strange things.
Aha.
She's so stuck in her head, I hardly ever see the sky.
I haven't painted in a year.
When was the last time you went on a date?
I sleep with a lot of women.
When was the last time you got to know a woman before you slept with her?
My last first lifer, drowned in a sewer. Drugs. He's a vacation.
Why does everyone think that relationships are a cure-all?
Perhaps sleeping with the same woman more than once will add a sense of permanence to your life.
Never hurts to get laid.
Loneliness is loneliness. Whether or not there's someone sleeping next to you.
Hey, Bobby. I knew you'd come.
Wayne.
I know what day it is. Happy birthday, man. You've been with me through it all. And nobody takes a teasing like you.
Save this for later. Now, promise me you'll sober up before the show.
Yeah. Just push a button. Give me a hug. You think you're slick? Yeah. Some things never change. You got my back.
Go on. You've got to start somewhere. A dot, something.
I can't.
Oh, this is really tiresome. Okay, let's go.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna stay.
Those are $10. Original packaging, they're antiques.
I'm an antique, too. I used to have this one.
Do I know you?
I don't think so.
You look familiar.
That kind of face.
Mickey, look at you. You're so young. Don't do that. You're going to be 6 feet tall. Oh yes, and you are going to live on a boat.
What's your name?
Amber.
Nice name. You're here every week?
Saturdays. I'm in school the rest of the week. Pastry chef in training.
Scenic painter and stuff. I don't know why I need this, but...
Well, it's something you don't have to think about. Well, except...
Of course.
You have to know how to count. You know, the paint's probably pretty crusty.
That's okay.
You seem so familiar.
You work on commission?
Yeah.
I'll take 3.
I'll get a bag.
Is my name really Robert? And I'm really 6'2"?
Yes, you are.
And I really live in New York.
Of course.
Discover your sense of mortality. What does it mean?
It means you're boring me to death, just waiting for you to do something. Do something!
You're so young.
What?
You're so young. I am so old.
It doesn't matter.
Talk about a midlife crisis.
Do you believe in soulmates?
No. I do believe in friends you can't get rid of.
Shit. I believe in soulmates. I think they're a cruel joke.
I'm sorry. I've got to go.
Too old, too sick, too far away, too married.
I wanted to buy you breakfast.
It's okay.
What took you so long?
I was busy last night.
How do you do it?
I didn't even get your message until...
How you doing, Frank? Now, there's something about waking up in jail after you turn 40. I'm glad you came. They took my license. But it's probably better that way. Can't hurt as many people.
It must have been some fault.
Oh, I can't wait to see that black and blue.
Wayne, I can't do this much longer.
Neither can I.
You need a doctor?
No. The judge is sending me back to class. Anger management and the 12 steps.
12 steps.
Better one step forward than two back.
Boy, I believe you're right.
I wish you'd turn on the television at least.
Vacation, huh?
Oh, I'm going out of my head.
Oh, looks like he's painting.
That's something.
A blue boat against a red sky.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
So I was wondering,
Could it be?
are we gonna spend some time together before you continue your search for soulmate?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
They're so wonderful when they finally overcome that step 5.
So, I'm practicing my brioche. You want me to bring you one?
That'd be nice.
I expect that you'll be going soon.
Well, I think I'll stay on a little longer.
I can have it all. I used to think that I was strong, but now I believe that I'm barely making it. Don't get me wrong, you help me out, but the road is long, isn't it? Without you, I don't care at all. pressure's on. I put it down. I can't do this anymore.
Welcome back to our short film show. Joining us today is the director and creator of Wilderness, winner of the Rhode Island International Film Festival and Honolulu Film Award, writer, filmmaker, and recently published author of a new American Fiction Prize-winning novel, I Know You Love Me Too, which is both the title of the book and our relationship, Amy Neswald. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we can finally figure out the question that we've all been waiting for. Who is this fish?
Oh, Fish? Fish is a very well-known fish. Fish had a quite a career, though. Fish did die of ick a few months after our shoot.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
In all seriousness, why did you choose such a intense mortality? It's free will, soulmates. These are all really hard topics to talk about.
There are a couple of different inspirations for the piece. A friend of mine had lost her 2-year child to cancer, and I had a lot of thoughts about that and why a really young child would suffer so much, but also why different people die at different points. So that was one of the inspirations for this piece, and that was the basis of the character Amber, who at that time in my mind, I was thinking about, well, what if she was so good at living that she kept dying? And then where would she go next? And that tied into this idea of soulmates and what happens when you meet your soulmate, but you don't have the time to live out the soul's contract, which furthered the plot of the piece and some of the driving ideas behind it. Had another friend who was a womanizer, like a terrible womanizer, and he knew he had a big problem and he didn't know how to stop it, and it was really ruining his life. So I thought that was a really interesting sort of character as well, and what would happen if someone who cycles through women met his soulmate? Would he recognize her or him or them? So all of these ideas were sort of floating around in my head when I was writing the piece.
And so that must have been Robert and Amber and their love for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And when did Wayne come into play then?
Well, I felt like I needed some sort of counterpoint to Robert, and someone that, because this is about first lives and thinking about how first lifers are always mucking up their lives, right? So I wanted to actually see a first lifer who was mucking up his first life as a counterpoint to Robert, who is hopefully going to be able to make it past that fifth step and just have at least a little bit of a realized life after his last sort of conflict or obstacle. And I thought it was funny that he was a remedial first lifer, that he had failed his first life so many times that he was under threat of being reincarnated as a rock.
Yeah.
So I think he definitely came in as someone who's even more messed up than Robert, so that Robert could use him to help make his decisions to move forward.
Would you say then with soulmates that it's not only a lover that could be your soulmate, but as well as a friend who is just connected to you through all these different lives?
Yeah, I have a couple of feelings about soulmates. Edgar Casey, who is sort of this, he's called the sleeping saint or sleeping psychic or something, but he wrote a lot about soulmates, and what he said was, just find someone you love. Like, don't look for a soulmate. Soulmates are so, they have so much karmic baggage with them. This is my belief. I don't speak as an expert on soulmates, but I believe that soulmates sort of have a soul's contract in order to learn things from each other, and once that thing is learned, you can move on. But because of that, because there's this like kind of sort of teaching thing with them, sometimes it's rather crumbly and fraught with tension. So soulmate relationships often, I don't think, are really productive or necessarily happy, which is why I think it's personally, not my characters, but personally, I think it's better to just find someone you really like and not worry about being soulmates or not. That said, I do think that soulmates are not only lovers, that we can have soulmates who are great friends, and even soulmates that we meet for just a minute or an hour or a day who change our lives, who complete something within us, whether it's something really subtle or something really intense, right? So in that way, I think maybe teachers, soulmates and soul teachers are maybe traveling along the same highway, spiritually speaking.
And that's the inspiration for the angels then. The angels are always there guiding these guys into trying to make them pass that fifth step of mortality.
Yeah, and also they're witnesses, right? So you would ask me in your email about free will versus destiny, and there's that tension between, like, here are these angels or witnesses who really don't have much power over guiding their people, and yet they know they sort of still have this way of nudging them along or witnessing their lives.
The angels were always saying, like, this guy would grow up to be like this, and this guy would be like this, and that disrupts the free will. Is that what you're going on then?
Yeah, I think, like, that's another, like, this, I consider this an existential comedy because I'm dealing with a lot of questions, maybe too many for such a short film. But there is like a weird relationship between free will and destiny, or that which is written. And I believe, and other people believe too, that they can coexist. It's not either free will or destiny. It's written, it is free will and destiny. But it is they're two hard concepts to marry between the two of them. But that is something I think about a lot, right? If our lives are written, where does free will lie? And I believe they coexist, but I don't know how. I'm not that smart.
Maybe you'll figure it out in your next film,
right?
But in a lot of your scripts, in a lot of your films, you always have a character with an item, and that item follows them around for the entire film. And with this one, it's the bun. I think I might have seen a slight like egg in the film, and the bun itself had like an F on it, so like B for bun and then F for 4, B4.
Oh,
which
cool.
Is, I don't know if that was the intention or
no, but that's so awesome. Who knows? Yeah.
But so why is this bun constantly following him around?
I was reading an article. I think also before I wrote the film, I was reading an article about people who are born with items in their hands, like, and it doesn't happen often, but sometimes, and they don't know why, right? So I think I was thinking a lot about what would happen if, like, a kid was born with a button in their hand, right? And how that might make them sort of be able to walk into different worlds, if they had brought the button in from their pre-life. And I'm a big fan of, there's a book by Ben Okri, who's a Nigerian writer, called The Famished Road. And he has got a character who walks between two worlds as a child. So he's kind of like hooked into the spiritual world, but he's really, he's a physical manifestation. He's a kid, so he has all these like different experiences. So that for Robert, like, because he pulled that button off, he can almost, but not quite, see his witness, right? I think that's part of his, situation. And he sees these weird things. He sees like the fish, and he has these like weird exchanges with people that maybe are crossovers, or maybe they really do exist. Like, it's hard to tell for him and for us, hopefully, as the audience. But there's some questions about that. But I like that kind of idea, not only with this, but with my other scripts and stuff like that, that we have these anchoring objects that sort of tie us into worlds that we might not even be aware of. Or I like these ideas of prehistories and pre-lives and things that we have we have a visceral memory of, but no verbal or conscious memory of. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like a connection that you can't remember, but you want.
Yeah.
You desire for it, but yet again, you can't ever access it.
Yeah, and you can't even articulate it.
Right.
Now,
would you ever think that if you could go back, if you could have your pre-life like Robert is trying to accomplish, would you ever do it? Could you?
I mean, I kind of think we do. Again, that's my like crazy spiritual story, but I feel like we, as humans, as spiritual beings, and maybe all animals. I can't speak to any other things, but us. But I kind of believe that we write our soul's contract for every life that we live, or maybe for all the lives that we live, in some way, that every person that we meet, that we cross paths with, that we learn from, has entered into an agreement,
of helping push that life,
or each other's lives, right? Like, I mean, you and I have a friendship, and also I think an abiding respect for each other and each other's work. What if that's already written? What if it was written that you made the choice to come here, not only because of me, because of everyone else, right, that you came for, but what if we had already agreed before either one of us was incarnate to meet and have this moment?
Which that must be in reference to also the therapist, the random guy at the restaurant, all these people that, the angel, of course, they're pushing him, and so if you have these people that could have been in his past lives, like everyone around him could have been in that past life before.
And in different form, different, levels. Depending on their need, right?
Right.
Maybe that old guy at the restaurant, like, maybe this is his final, like, lesson for Robert, right? And now he just goes off and does it to someone else, or, has his own life. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, when it comes to the death, which is the sixth step, the angel at the end, she only showed up for the mortality section. Correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So she didn't go because she wanted to stay, not only with the other angel, but also to see how his story plays out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't get past the mortality section, what happens? Is that leads to death regardless?
I mean, I guess at some point.
Yeah, can't really escape it.
But it's like, I guess if you like didn't get over your fear of mortality, but died anyway, you probably would have to, in this universe, relive your first life, right? Like his friend keeps reliving his first life, but just never like got past like knows how to like, you know, clean his laundry or whatever. I forget what the third and fourth step are.
So you have all these things happening in this script, and not only are you figuring out yourself, but how is it after finishing it?
Oh, you mean like physically finishing having a film? Or
not necessarily the film, but figuring out what you wanted to say.
In the film?
Right.
Well, I think the circumstances of the film, how it got written was, there was a writing, and this is, I think, going to play out into your question. So there was a writing contest in which you wrote a script. You had a week to write a script of a given subject and genre. And if you won your heat, the different groups, you had a day, 24 hours to write a script of a given subject and genre.
This is a 24-hour script?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
So that's what happened. I won my group, and then I, was doing the 24-hour script, and this piece won the whole contest, which was really cool. But one of the problems was that I didn't write it to be made. I wrote it just to write it, in 24 hours. So when someone came up to me and said that they wanted to produce it, right, like we had what I had considered a pretty non-producible script. I had, character in 5 different ages, like as we're following him, and all these different locations and different, iterations of character, and so I guess the thing is the intentions behind the piece were really real. I was dealing with the death of my friend's child. I was dealing with watching my friend have a real breakdown because he didn't know how to stop acting the way he was acting. He was an addict. And then I also had this amazing soundtrack that I had just gotten by Archer Pruitt. And so I kept on playing his CD over and over and over again, which is some of the music in the piece. It just sort of came together. And also I had read, there's an Alice Walker novel, and I don't remember what it was, but it had this picture at the end of all these shamans in white sitting on a bed. And I thought that's where the angels kind of came from, was just I had that imagery in my head. So 24 hours, a lot of coffee, not a lot of sleep, Archer Pruitt playing, and these 2 kind of issues grinding at me, created this piece that took on a life of its own.
Wow.
So I don't know, also maybe meant to be. Maybe it just Robert's story wanted to be told,
Right. I'm just imagining the angels in your mind, essentially, the stark whiteness. They're always there and around. It must have been beautiful to then have it written down on the script and then creating it yourself and having the visual connect with it.
It was really cool. It was an amazing experience to make this film. It was one of the best. I'm still very proud of it. I know it's flawed, but it's one of the things that I'm proudest of that I've ever done.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, we are running out of time, but I do want to touch on your new novel. It's I Know You Love Me Too. Tell us about it.
This is a novel and stories. It's a collection of linked short stories about 2 sisters who have an 8-year age gap. same father, different mothers, and their father died when one was 12 and the other was 20. So they also have a really complex and very different relationships with their dead father, shared dead father. So the novel follows through them. Sometimes they're background characters, and sometimes they're the subject, or it's in first person. But it follows the trajectory of their relationship as they kind of learn to love each other in a meaningful and resonant way, and come to peace with their shared history and their different experiences of their shared history.
That's lovely. Can you let us know where we can get it and when it's coming out?
Yeah, it's available for pre-sale on bookshop.org, Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and I don't know, maybe some other booksellers, I'm not sure. It is released on December 1st. I don't know right now what stores will, buy it or not buy it, but you can definitely pre-order on the internet.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming here. You're a great first guest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Come back in 2 weeks when we discuss horror genres from main artists. All right, Have a great one. Thank you.